Hello guys, welcome to today's video. My name's Peter and this is my first ever YouTube video. I'm beginning a new chapter, trying to do some media content, YouTube content, content creator, whatever you want to call it. I do have a channel on YouTube, it's Big Rigs Real Trucker, very cheesy, but it's the name I've come up with, and I also have an Instagram page and that is Big Rigs as well, just taking screenshots. Basically the lowdown on myself is I'm a trucker as well, a real life trucker, and I've got 11 years experience and I'll delve into that a bit more. But what we'll do first, at the beginning of this video, we're obviously looking at a Scania 770 8.4, it's used for heavy haulage, and today, the first video, some people might think it's boring diving into the big guns. We'll get hooked up to this trailer, which is a Kassbohrer low loader. It's got some ramps at the back, and I do have some mods enabled in the game. I've got painted light bars, etc. So yeah, my aim is for to engage with viewers. I'm going to try eventually further down the line, ask questions, find out what kind of content you guys want to see, i.e. what kind of trucks, what kind of loads, what kind of destinations you want me to go to, and basically throughout the videos we've chat about my life experiences a wee bit, and hopefully it's engaging enough and interesting enough for to get some subscribers. So obviously, like I said, if you are watching this video, please subscribe. It is Big Rigs Real Trucker on YouTube. Thank you. So let's get into it. Sorry, I'm actually cheating by using the external cab video. So yeah, if only hooking up to a truck was as easy as that in real life. So anyway, let's have a look. Where are we? We are in Edinburgh, which is pretty much in real life that would be my most local major city. And what we'll do is we shall have a wee look at the truck, get the lights on, get the fuel beams on. We'll be looking at hooked up to the Kassbohrer trailer. I think it's pretty cool. Just a wee note, green isn't actually my favourite colour. I'll talk about that later actually, but I think it is absolutely cracking on this truck. I can really feel I've obviously got the big Griffin design at the side. Yeah, and I've spent a wee bit of time doing this truck up obviously, and as you can see down the bottom left of my screen, if you're a Euro Truck Simulator 2 game player, you'll see that I've got 163.8 million. Now, did I use some software to have extra money? Absolutely, yeah, because to be honest with you, I think some of the content that I've watched, and it's not criticising, is that people always say let's start a career and everything like that. I will eventually do maybe a series and I'll start a career from scratch, but we'll delve into the cool stuff first. See what you guys think, and like I said, during this video I'm going to chat a wee bit about some of my experiences, and let's go on with the job. Okay, so let's find the job first of all. So me personally, I just always use the cargo market. You can use external market, but I'll just use the cargo market for to start off with. Right, let's have a wee look. Hold on to a big massive job. Now I'm going to, that's quite cool actually, I am going to take this telescopic handler, or also known as simply telehandler. A wee interesting fact is, as well as being a real trucker, this year in April time I actually went out and got my telehandler licence, because I was hoping to basically become a telehandler driver on the building sites, any kind of sites really. Invested my own money into that. Unfortunately this year I had a unexpected and unpredicted health scare. I'll not go too much into it, but basically at the moment I've spent a lot of time in the house, and I had this crazy idea, why don't I try and become a content creator on YouTube, because at the end of the day I've got real life experiences of doing this. I'm not going to make it that I was like world's #1 super trucker or anything like that. I made plenty of mistakes, had bumps, had scrapes, but listen, I think I'm sure there'll be a lot of guys in there that are just naturally, they have the talent, I don't know, the hand-and-eye coordination not to make mistakes, I don't know, but let's face it, if there's any real truckers that are actually watching this video as well, we all make mistakes at one time or another. I've made plenty. Some daft ones, some silly ones, some, you know, life happens, but anyway, I'll delve into that a wee bit as I've already mentioned. So we'll take this job, and what we'll do to make it nice and authentic is over there, as you can see on screen, there's a white box, and in this Euro Truck Simulator game, as I'm sure anybody who plays knows, that's where you go to load. So we'll keep the cab in view. We won't look outside, we'll not cheat. Although I'm sure I might have to, because what I intend to do further down his line is I have downloaded the DLC, which is like the special card, etc. Yeah, get that done. Just checking the horns working there. Yep. Get that done, and we'll go back to looking at the mirrors. So yeah, let's see here. Let's get in that box first of all. So at the moment I'm actually using an Xbox controller, and I intend to get a steering wheel. That's on the to-do list. But I'm pretty old school. I'm only 34, but I have always been a console player. I've only actually just started delving into like PCs, laptops. I'm actually using a gaming laptop, and it's, in my opinion, it's absolutely fantastic, because I had inherited from my son, who's 17, his laptop, but he told me the graphics card was away, and I actually downloaded the Euro Truck Simulator, and I've been playing it for a wee while, but the difference in going from basically a laptop with no graphics card, or a hardly functioning graphics card, to the laptop that I'm using at the moment. It's a Predator Helios Neo 6. It is unbelievable, for me anyway. Like I said, I've always been PlayStation, Xbox, etc. But to go to this gaming laptop, the graphics, I don't know how much the YouTube video quality will actually do justice to the quality that I'm seeing on screen at the moment. I don't know. I'll leave that up to you guys, so if you want to leave a comment or that about this. But yeah, so what we'll do, we'll dive in, we'll have a wee look at the truck again. Scania 770S. We'll talk about some of the trucks that I've driven in real life. I certainly haven't ever been fortunate enough to drive a Scania 770S. They are extraordinary machines. As mentioned, I've drove Scanias, S-Series, R-Series. I actually got to drive only once a 660 V8, and the only reason I got to drive it is because my truck was due in at the workshop at Eurocentral, which is near Glasgow, for anybody that's not from central Scotland. I was dropping my truck off for my company that I was working for a 6-weekly inspection, and I had to bring back somebody else's, and it just happened to be 660 V8. It was lovely, very nice. I don't know, call me sad, but I'm a truck enthusiast, if you like. I loved the sound, the noise that came from it. Very, very different to just having a standard engine. But again, further down the line in this video, we'll chat about what kind of vehicles I drove. And so let's get this all started up here. Go back onto this. Let's have a wee look on the map where exactly I'm going to. So down to Carlisle. In real life, that looks like, if anybody's familiar with this route, I'd be going along Edinburgh, the bypass, and that would be down like the 701, I think that is. And this area here is actually, in real life terms, I think that would be down about the Abington area. Obviously the scale that they use in this is very different. But yeah, as you can see, these orange lines on the map basically are the road network, and that's basically, in playing the game, that's the roads that I've used before. So, so far, I've not done really much, to be honest, but I'll get there. So today's trip, like I said, I'll keep it short and sweet. It's 101 miles. It roughly takes, 10 minutes or something like 15 minutes, which is completely different from what it would be in real life, especially battling the traffic in Edinburgh and that as well. So yeah, let's get heading down. And like I said, I'll do my best to keep it authentic. If you've not already noticed, I used the map down the bottom left. You can get rid of that And what I'll do as well, guys, is I'll actually take the chance just before I go out onto the road. I'll show you the inside of the truck. It's a custom mod. I've got custom light package in it. I've got the Kassbohrer dice there. That just comes, I think, as standard with the Kassbohrer trailer pack. I've got the mods for the curtains as well, and also I've got the interior truck cabin accessories as well. And as you can see, like the interior itself is green. Now, as I mentioned earlier, green isn't my favourite colour because in Scotland there's two big football teams, one's blue, one's green. Let's just say mine isn't the green team. I'll not really involve football in this because that's not what it's about. Although maybe I'll further down the line I'll have a wee look at Football Manager or something like that, because that is a game that I play. But yeah, so just looking at the truck, what we'll quickly do as well, I will show you on the camera mode, which is built into the game. Have a wee quick look, zoom in. Some of the add-ons that I put on it, these are all pretty much standard, other than the Michelin. That is a downloadable pack, but there you can see an antenna on there, that's part of a mod. Even the light bar, which comes in the paint effect, that's done as a mod. But yeah, I think, I must admit, even though it's green, it's pretty cool. I think it really shows off. It really complements this truck. I was going to go for like the full painted grille ribs, but I went for the exclusive. I've got the custom King of the Road sign instead of the standard Scania Griffin badges on the front. And obviously I've downloaded like the special cargoes JCB download, so we've got a proper JCB, like it's a licensed product. Actually, that actually is pretty much the exact same as what I done my test at. I done my training for telehandlers, and that was pretty much the machine. I can't remember. I believe on the boom. No, sorry, talking rubbish on here. That's not going to lie. Can't remember. It's something that's to do with it's 18 metre the length and things like that, and the 540. Not going to lie, can't remember. But yeah, that's something else that I can do. Although I'm not going to lie, I don't have any experience because, as I mentioned repeatedly now, I had some health problems, never actually got into it. But yeah, as you can see, I've added the plate there. Quite sad, very cheesy as mentioned, but it's got big rigs on it. That's my Insta page. And it is my YouTube page as well, so Big Rigs Real Trucker. And as I said, my kind of way of marketing myself really is just for to say I'm a real trucker. I've got plenty of different experience. If anything, you might call me a bit of a journeyman with working with different companies. I've done quite a lot of different things. I started off. I'll tell you what I started off doing actually. I actually started off working for a hire vehicle company in Airdrie. I was only there for a short period of time. It was actually my brother. He was kind enough for he had been there and still had a friend who worked there at the time. He got me the job, but I had already had the job at the biggest national recovery company, as in recovering vehicles, breakdown, etc. All I'll say is, again, I'm not sure what I'm allowed to do just yet because I'm a newbie at this, because I'm not sure what I'm allowed to mention companies, but big yellow trucks, recoveries, national, you know, if you need a hand, join the you know what. So I worked for them, and I'd actually been through, and my brother was working there as well, and because of my brother, he got me in the door there. But unfortunately, that was on the basis of me passing my class 2, and unfortunately I failed my class 2 first time, and at the time I was gutted because it meant there was a hold up with me getting the job with aforementioned recovery company. But in the meantime, once I passed, I done my retest, I passed it. I actually never even got any minors on the retest, which I was quite chuffed about. So yeah, I went and joined the hire vehicle company. They were in Airdrie, they no longer exist. Anybody that's from Scotland or Central area, they'll know who I'm talking about. But again, I'm not delving into too much details. But I worked for them for like 5 weeks, and then I finally got my official start date to work with the recovery company. Went down and done a bit of training. down at Six Hills, that I'll probably give away if you didn't already click on who it was. Worked there, and it was a great job, but it was just there wasn't much of there was changes that were brought in when I started. It was 4 on 4 off, and it then basically changed in the shift patterns. I'm not going to lie, they were not really good at all, and it wasn't what I signed up to, so I left. Went and worked for a local company. Just literally went from obviously driving the 5-car transporter for a few weeks onto a recovery flatbed. Done that for like 2 years, and then I went and worked for a local company in my home village, which is Armadale. Again, didn't want to get into company details, but let's just say Green Curtain Cider. So if anybody's got a clue who that is, then I'm sure further down the line I probably should have done my homework a bit more, to be honest with you, on that, but I didn't want to mention any names just in case. But Green Company, worked with them for a good few years. Had an absolutely, I'm not going to lie, I had a brilliant run there. First of all, I started and I basically ran every day for the first couple of years from Armadale to Dundee, and then I was given the run where I basically, on a Monday, I left in the Monday morning, went up north, up to Inverness, I had drops usually sometimes in Perth. I would have them at Brewer, places like that, and then I would go up to Inverness, work my way along. Can't remember the actual road number, but I think it's the A82 or something like that, might be wrong. But anyway, done that, and I would always either end up in Elgin at the community centre car park, stay the night, or Buckie, which is further along, heading east. I would stay there, and most of the time I was delivering tyres, palletised goods, things like that. It was a graft, but it was brilliant. I had such a rapport with so many customers, and I was gutted when I left. But again, I'll tell you a bit more about that in a second. But yeah, on a Monday, that's what I'd done. Tuesday, I would come home, and I would always come down. Normally, in Scotland, what's known as the Whisky Trail, which is some pretty stunning scenery. Again, any real truckers, even anybody that's just been about Scotland, they'll know what I'm talking about. It was great. There's that old cliche, very cheesy again, that you're a paid tourist. That's basically, that's what I was, and I'd done that. So I'd come home on a Tuesday, back home to the wife and kids. Wednesday, basically eat, sleep, rave, repeat, back up to Inverness, stay on the Wednesday night in the truck, back down the road Thursday, same again, and then on a Friday I basically done whatever needed covered locally. Sometimes I'd get sent up north again, sometimes I would even get sent out in just a Sprinter van, anything. Just my own truck was a 26 ton rigid. I actually got it brand new. It's a brilliant truck, 410 DAF CF, really good truck. Not as spacious as that is obviously when you start progressing in your career. I went from class 2, transitioned into class 1, and that's actually the reason why I left that company, because maybe somebody will disagree and laugh. If anybody on this that's viewed knows me, they'll maybe disagree, but if you were good at your job, which in my opinion I was alright, not probably blowing my own trumpet, they actually tended not to let you do anything else, and I wanted to do class 1 because I always wanted to drive Arctics since I was a little boy, and basically that never happened. So I asked them, and it was agreed that I would be doing class 1, but it never materialised. So I basically spat the dummy, and I went and put myself through it, and I put my notice in, and so what I ended up doing is I went to another local company just a wee bit further down the road in Avonbridge to do walking floors on that, and I'm not going to lie, it was brilliant. I made a few mistakes on that, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Everybody makes mistakes, and when you're a newbie, there was one of the times, it was winter, that I actually went there for to work, and I was coming up the road from a place in Aberdeen called A Boy, at a sawmill basically. I left there, and I was using a truck sat nav, because as you do, you buy all the tools and that to help you with your job, and I basically, what the sat navs don't always tell you is the type of terrain and whether it's suitable for the conditions, and I got stuck on a road, and I basically closed the main road down for like 6 hours, and also I made the mistake as well. They had just got a brand new trailer delivered, and basically I got asked to move it in the yard, and I didn't put the legs down, pulled out, and it fell. No, luckily there was not even a scratch on it for some reason. Anybody that's watching this that's a real trucker will probably say this guy is not a real trucker if he's making mistakes like that, but I can assure you it's just no everybody's man enough, in my opinion, for to admit when they've done wrong. But looking back, it was so silly. But listen, these things happen, and the guy that owned the company, his name's Jim, he was brilliant with me. He just says, listen, these things happen, didn't worry. And what happened there is I left because I was offered more money, and I explained to Jim, I said, I'm sorry, I kind of used him as a stepping stone. And he said, I understand. He says, a lot of guys do that. He says, but you're always welcome back. So that was nice. So I went and worked for a company down next to Carlisle in Brampton. They basically had, although they were from Brampton, they had 5 trucks based out of another mill up in Scotland in a place called Kiwi, and it was running like Eggerboard, things like that. And I was delivering all over Europe tramping, and obviously I was loving it, because when I was doing the work for the company from Avonbridge, I was just doing Scotland and the north of Scotland predominantly. But that proper opened me up. Only time I'd ever been on the road going down south was like personal visits to places, things like that. So that opened me up. And again, not going to lie, I've got 3 kids, I always go where money is, and I actually went to a company, another national company. They have maroon trucks, they deliver slabs and other concrete products, things like that. Again, anybody that's watching that knows anything about UK haulage or that, they'll know who I'm talking about. So they actually put me through my high-amp licence, and I was delivering slabs, brick, block, things like that. They were brilliant to work for, but I always, in my experience now that I work for a couple of national companies, it's a double-edged sword. And if you can somehow just teach yourself to abide by the rules, and even it sounds bad, but like use the rules to your advantage, say that you can't do certain things and that, because let's face it, if it's good enough for them to give you rules and that, you've got to use them to your own advantage. So that is good that way, but at the same time too, when you're working for a family-run company, I think there's more like a personal attachment, because you feel, I don't know, it's like you're more responsible. Like, I don't know, I can't quite describe it. I always cared, I always took great care, and everything that I've done, like I said, I made mistakes, but anyway, enough rambling on about that. So again, I left there, and I had the opportunity to work for a gentleman, and he only had like 4 trucks, sorry, which one of them he ran himself, but I went and worked for him. I'm very grateful to him for giving me the job, because that was my first ever taste of doing European work, and I actually done a trip down to, I'll turn that off, sorry, that's quite loud. I done a trip down to Cannes in the south of France, place, I'm sure you all have heard of it, the film festival place and things like that. And it was absolutely superb. Met some great guys on that trip. Guy called Mick, who worked for a company down in Huddersfield. Big company, got loads of different flat trailers, things like that. They run Volvos, they run everything. He was actually in a Renault T-Cab, I remember. And I also met the fancy company, who, by the way, what a team of dedicated drivers. The company from Blackpool, who have got a lot of Scanias. I think they've got a couple of DAFs now as well, but I've made a bit of a pixie of this. I'm going to need cutting. Bad driver, like I said at the beginning of the video, not the best. I'll just wait. But yeah, worked for them. Sorry, beg your pardon. Went down there, met one of their guys. I think he's quite famous in the trucking industry. His name's Yorkie. You've probably met that many people. I don't even know if you'll remember me. But basically, I was hanging on to their apron strings, him and Mick. They kept me right, they kept my paperwork right. Even the guys in the haulage company, because we were basically a subcontractor for that haulage company that I'm talking about, where Yorkie worked. And they kept me right. The guys in the office, a guy called Dave, different class, really proper. It's that old cliche, like, the small companies, they really do look after you a wee bit more, in my opinion. But he was brilliant to work for. to work as a subby for them, but the actual guy who gave me the job, beg your pardon, there was promises made to me and the other two drivers, and basically, put it this way, I won't criticise them because, like I said, I was grateful, but we all left within the space of a month because holiday pay. It was at Christmas time again, and there was a massive issue with the holiday pay, and basically, yet again, promises weren't kept. I think I ran a red light there. Whoops. Yeah, so left there, but as I said, went down to Cairns. That gave me the bug for doing European work, and I then went and worked for a company who runs a fleet of Scanias out of, oops, wrong button there on the controller. I run a company of Scanias, refrigerated goods. They actually deliver mostly medical equipment, medical supplies. Worked for them. That was an absolutely brilliant job. The amount of things that I seen and done doing that job, it was brilliant. Basically, I went from having one truck down at the bottom of France, and I ended up going into Belgium, France, Holland, Switzerland, Denmark, Germany, right over as far east as Leipzig. I think is the furthest east that I went in Germany. When I was doing Denmark, I went up to a place called Hillerød, and that was north of Copenhagen. Again, it was always medical supplies that we delivered. They were a good outfit. They had really good tackle, very very good tackle. But the planners, I'm trying my best not to be too critical of anybody that I've ever worked for, but the planners weren't great. Let's just say that. I was there for just over a year. No, sorry, beg your pardon, just under a year. And I actually left and went and worked for my cousin's partner. Now, he was a very, very good. He was a great guy. He was really good. He really cared about his trucks. And unfortunately, it was my cousin's partner. And basically, it was there where I made the mistakes. I damaged the truck twice. One of them, I'm not going to lie, that it was a pig's trough that was buried underneath some grass. Was the first mistake I made, and I never seen it. And when I explained to him, he says, "Listen, things like that happen. Don't worry about it." But the second mistake was from me. It was negligent, I'm not going to lie. I was basically taking a right at a junction, but it was just immediately after a roundabout, and I didn't realise there was queuing traffic at the roundabout, and for whatever reason, for some silly reason, I just didn't look in my mirror, and the back end of the trailer clipped the vehicle, and basically we agreed that I would leave. It was through choice. It maybe sounds like it wasn't, but like I just said, I just felt so bad because he was basically family, and I was gutted because he's a really good guy. I don't really speak to him that much anymore, but anyway, that's enough of that. We'll leave that there. And then since then, what I've done is I ended up going back to the high abs in between, getting the telehandler like I mentioned at the start. So anyway guys, what I'll do is we'll have a wee look there. I've got onto the bay, not 100% straight, and by the way, I don't know why the game does this as much. It's a fantastic game. You're not taking that there and parking that there to unload a telehandler. That's going to be unloaded, out in the street or something like that, but hey oh. So that's that job completed. So what I'll do is I'll do another wee quick job. Do Carlisle and Newcastle gas pipeline parts. And what we'll do is we'll get that done. And yeah. So as I was saying, yeah, I went and put myself through that ticket and ended up getting. I'll not get into details, but really poorly. It was actually really serious, and that's why I had this magnificent little idea saying that I'm going to try and be a content creator, because I started playing this, I don't know, must have been missing driving or something like that. I just enjoy playing the game. I'm not going to lie, I do enjoy video games, and I think this is quite. There's a lot that's unrealistic about this game, but there's a lot that's really realistic, and there's so many cool things that you can do, customise your trucks and that, and that's hopefully what I'm going to do with during my gameplay and the content that I create. I'm not just going to show you Scanias all the time. Because that would be boring. I'll drive different trucks, I'll go to different trailers. I do think though, in this game, if you're driving, if you go on and you drive like the side of me there's fridge trailers. Like if you're doing that, you can't see nothing. I think the coolest thing is really on like the flatbeds and the low loaders and things like that. So I'll probably might stick to that. I'll do some of the special cargo. I think that's pretty good. I've done a couple of them already off camera. But yeah, so anyway, so we've just done there. We've just completed Edinburgh down to Carlisle, and now we're doing Edinburgh to Newcastle, which would be in real life across the 69. I used to use that road quite a lot because I used to leave from up here in Glasgow, and I would go down the M6, cut across the 69, and I would get the ferry from Newcastle, or I would cut across the 62, which is there, and leave the Hull. And basically, the Newcastle boat that takes you to a place called IJmuiden in Amsterdam, or that one there, it took you to a place that was called Europort or Port, whatever you want to call it, in Rotterdam, and you would then make your way into Europe through there. But yeah, well, that feels really light actually. No, it's heavier than the Telehandler, sorry. So yeah, anyway, as mentioned, I use those roads quite a lot. So we'll crack on with this load as well. I'll do a bit more chatting, and hopefully you've not switched off already. But just again, guys, another wee reminder: if you don't mind, if you're liking the content so far and you've managed to suffer me, give it a wee like and subscribe. It's like Big Rigs, Real Trucker, so Big Rigs with a Z, Real Trucker. As I said, anybody, I'm dreading the moment anybody that knows me sees this, because I reckon I'm going to get I'm going to get slagged. But hey, who cares? I've got to do something to keep myself climbing the walls, being stuck in the house at the moment. So yeah. So anyway, as I was saying, like, looking at this truck, that's quite nice actually. Scania 770S, top of the line. It's got all the mod cones and everything like that. I've done all the mods, and I've got the Kassbohrer. I believe, although I've not done. Actually, once I used a low loader, and believe it or not, I actually moved an excavator, and that was on the Edinburgh bypass. I think it's called the Green Market. It's not the bypass, sorry. It's on the A1. I moved that excavator, but I did have somebody there basically holding my hand, showing me how to use the chains and that. Because other than that, that is the one and only time so far that I have used a low loader. So yeah, I managed. I never hit anything. I never fell off. So yeah, I got there with the assistance of my good friend Martin. And if he's seen me doing these videos, I know for a fact he is going to take the absolute pee out of me. That's all I'll say. But hey, I don't care. I can take a slagging. I'm thick-skinned. But yeah. So anyway, back to the game. I think it's pretty realistic actually. Like I said, it's no. Obviously, you can tell with the graphics, like looking at those trees in the distance, they're not ultra sharp or anything like that. They're no real life, but and again, I believe the computer makes a big difference. And to be fair, this computer is pretty top spec. Or sorry, gaming laptop. Beg your pardon. So yeah. I thoroughly enjoy playing it, to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure people would call me sad, but I don't care. That's a good laugh. It's quite funny. The only criticism I've really got of the game is that the AI, the artificial intelligence in the traffic, it's scary. Like you get overtaken corners, things like that. It's unbelievable. But yeah, so going back to the game, the gameplay is really good. It's pretty realistic. The truck physics are a bit, I think they've got a bit to be desired of as well, but considering what this is, what the game does, it's, people that for whatever reason don't have the opportunity to go out and drive trucks in real life, or they just don't fancy it, they just don't have the confidence. This game is pretty close to the real thing. It's good, it's very good. The physics, like in terms of where you have to park and that, it is so just like real life. You can so quickly make a picture of where you're loading, reversing, etc. But yeah, it's very good, and I don't know, anybody that happens to play this game, just a wee tip, just like I've mentioned in real life, what I've noticed is when you go onto the when you go into the map, if you're ever doing a job that's running from Scotland, i.e. Aberdeen, Glasgow, Edinburgh, and you're going into the continent, I would always, unless you're going to like northern Scandinavia, like proper up north, if you're ever going to anywhere in Europe, it takes out a big chunk of your time getting that ferry there, the Newcastle to Amsterdam one. I use that quite a lot in game, and that's the one. Like I said, that was what I actually predominantly used in real life when I was working for the company from Uddingston, and that was a great laugh. My God, it was crazy. It was basically, if you happened to ship out at the weekend, you were getting hen do's, stag do's. It was great fun, and also you were very well looked after on the boat because you were on the boat that often. Sometimes you were on it twice a week if you were only doing like a wee run into. If you were only doing a small run, and you could go into Holland twice into a place called we done a place called Bleiswick, which is I don't know if you call it it'd be a town I suppose in Holland, not far, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours I think it was. We used to take the medical stuff there, and if you were doing that, you could do a couple of runs a week, and that was you were on the boat, but everything was paid for. Like you got your dinner, you got your breakfast, you were on it. You got down to Newcastle. Normally the check-in was 3 o'clock. You would then jump. You would then drive onto the ferry any time between 3 and 5, and the ferry would depart at 5. And then you were basically left to your own devices. You would get normally my routine was getting get showered, have a couple of refreshments, have a bite to eat. There was always other drivers. I actually made a couple of friends that were from Holland, a couple of Dutch guys that ran flowers, and they were really good guys. Look, there we go. There's the AI bend overtaking on a bend. Hey ho. But yeah, made a lot of friends. The company that I worked for made a lot of good friends as well. I had a wee mate called John, one of the funniest men on this planet, no exaggeration. Just they had a nickname for everybody. Like I can't even share them on YouTube because I'd probably get shut down. He'd get me the channel shut down. But yeah, made a lot of good friends. John was a really good friend. I hardly even speak to him anymore, to be honest, which is a shame. But yeah, at the time. But yeah. So it was really good. So anyway, as I said, there's a lot as I go back to what I was talking about, there's a lot in this game. There's a lot of shortcuts you can take if you want to do all the driving. That's fine. But me personally, I don't know if it's because I've done it in real life. I always try to take the ferries because it just you're not driving for as long. And even though I'm sitting in the comfort, of my own home doing this and playing this game, I think it makes a big difference, and it saves, especially if you're trying to build your stats up and your skills up on this ETS2. If you do like the just-in-time deliveries, the boats and the ferries can take a lot of time off and make sure that you basically make the deadline or don't make the deadline. I think I'm probably just about to miss the deadline. What was it saying? Remaining time 1 hour 24, 1 hour 24 down the bottom left there. And how long am I away? I'm only 30 minutes, so in game time that is obviously. But yeah, so that's a wee tip for any Euro Truck Simulator people. Always use the ferries if you can. But yeah, so as I say, I've got a lot of real life experience, and that's what I'm hoping to do with the channel. If I can reach enough people and engage with people, I'm hopefully going to, I'll start asking people what kind of routes do you want me to take, what kind of trucks do you want me to drive, what kind of loads do you want me to take, do you want to see the special cargo. So even just now, if anybody wants to, just leave a comment, and yeah, I'll be sure to do my best for to satisfy everybody, if you want to call it that. But yeah, but I think, like I said, it'd be pretty boring if I just stuck to this big green machine. I've got a few trucks that I've already done, customised in that in game, but yeah, that's the aim of the channel. Just for entertain people. Probably entertain people with some of the experiences that I've had. To be honest with you, what I'll do is I'll reenact some of the routes that I used to take from Glasgow to Europe. Like I said, I went as far east as Leipzig in Germany. As far east, I think a place called Eisenach. I think I've been there. That might actually be further east. But like I said, my favourite journeys were Probably Denmark, because I used to get the ferry from a place called Puttgarden. I would go there and go there, get the ferry from Puttgarden. You would go past Hamburg, Osnabrück, things like that, up the pretty much the north coast, and then you would take the ferry from Puttgarden, and it would take you to a place called Rodby. And basically from there, it was probably, in my opinion, other than the roads in Scotland, believe it or not, but in my opinion, the road from Puttgarden up towards from Rodby up towards Copenhagen, it's I'll turn that off just now. The roads are absolutely stunning. The bridges that you go over, the sights that you see. What I'll do on my Instagram page is I'm actually going to, at the moment, again very sadly, I've just been taking screenshots and uploading some of the trucks that I've been customising at the moment. And again, that Instagram page is Big Rigs, so it's big and then 3_rigs. I know, sounds sad, but hey ho. But yeah, I'm going to start eventually combining the photos that I took in game, and I'm going to take some photos, and unfortunately you might have to even look at my face in some of them, because a lot of the views I used to take selfies with, and you're going to have to look at my face, unfortunately. So I do feel sorry for you in advance and apologise. But yeah, that's the aim. Like I said, I'm trying to make it authentic, and I think, again, not being critical, because this is my first ever video and I don't want to start with being criticising, but I think some of the things that guys do on these channels is just not that realistic, says the guy that's playing a truck simulator game. I know. But anyway, we're at our last delivery, guys. I don't even know exactly how long this video has lasted, but it's probably a wee bit longer than what it should, so hopefully you've not turned off too soon. And what I will say is, I hope you've enjoyed the content so far. There's plenty more stories to come, plenty more different trucks to see, plenty more different routes that I'm going to take in game. And as I says, I always choose the difficult parking. I always try to do that because I believe that adds more authenticity. And I'll give you a funny story. I'm hopefully going to do a Denmark video, like Glasgow to Denmark at some point. I'll give you a funny story about that one time. But yeah, guys. So that's me managed to get into the white box. I don't think I'm all that straight. Nah, not really. Quite squint actually. But yeah, what I'll do is I'll give you guys another look. That's I was hauling gas pipeline parts there, 21 tonnes, which is no problem for that big 770 engine. Give you a wee look at the truck again. I'll go into what I'll do actually, is I'll quickly, I think I've already done this actually, but hey ho. We'll have a wee look around at the building site here, yeah. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. The graphics are good, and they've added some really good stuff in. You know, it's decent. They've done SES software. I've done a pretty good job. I think that's quite cool that you can actually see, because I hate games when it's like they fill in the gap, and it's like just a grey area. But yeah. So anyway, like I said, guys, that's enough from me just now. If you've watched it this far, it's Big Rigs Real Trucker again. Please like and subscribe if you can. I'm going to try and add as much content as I can. I've got a lot of spare time, so hopefully it'll be quite a fair bit and different. I'll try and engage everybody, like I said. I'll eventually start taking polls, things like that. But yeah, just like, subscribe to the page, go onto my Instagram page, give me a follow, give me a shout. If anybody, also on Instagram, if anybody ever circumstances like me that are in the house and I don't know, medical, even if it's no medical, you're just stuck in the house and you want to chat, I'm free to chat as well. So, yeah. But thanks for watching, guys, and I appreciate your time. Hopefully you'll enjoy my further videos. Cheers, guys.